I'm going to start off because we've hit record now. Welcome to the Granite Zero podcast. Guest of the year 2021. Now reigning, defending champion of the world. However, going to discuss the elephant in the room quickly. You were shit yesterday. Don't be
Hello,
shit.
Tommo. Don't be shit. I was shit. I got carried away and I got back far too late. But in my defence, mate, if I'd done the podcast last night, my energy would have been bullshit. So I would have not given the performance that I'm going to give.
You would have been shit.
And I would have been shit. So sometimes it's best to just hold your hand up and take ownership of being shit and say, I will be not shit tomorrow. So see you tomorrow. That's what it's all about.
Generally, that is the best way to do it. In fact, I would prefer it if I've had guests before that have been on the show and you could tell that they were like knackered or just couldn't be bothered. And you're like, come on, give me a little something.
Yeah, mate, 100%. And you can't do it.
This is my happy place.
Yeah.
Exactly,
mate.
This is where I come to get rid of my stresses. Leaving the missus in there whinging.
You invite me on the podcast, mate. The least anyone can do is come on a podcast is give the host and the people who listen to that podcast the fucking time of day. And I'm always appreciative now. I think this might be my 7th podcast, Cigar. Yeah, I'm chuffed, mate. Thanks for having us back.
Let's
go.
As you know, you're always welcome.
I appreciate it.
You've always been a big supporter of the podcast, even from the early goings, and still cracking on, as they say, you say.
As I say, I remember like listening to your first podcast, and I remember first seeing it, and I've enjoyed your podcast, and I feel like there's been a great progression. You've kicked on, you've improved everything, mate, from the sound quality to the editing to like the people that you've had on the podcast. You've moved away from safe topics, so you've gone away from just having military blokes on. You've gone into other areas where you're thinking maybe, am I even going to have a rapport with this guest? Like, what are we going to talk about? But you've done that, so well done to you.
Yeah, cheers. That is quite a difficult thing to do, like, because being comfortable is awesome. But as you know, you have to sometimes embrace the discomfort.
Yeah, like it's one of those sort of like cliche wanky things to say, but
I love a cliche wanky thing.
Yeah, there is no growth. There is no growth in comfort, and if you want to get anywhere, then you've got to make decisions and tough decisions to kick on. I did it last year when I quit my full-time job to go full-time in Robustours, which was scary. Fucking hell, what am I doing? But ultimately, it's been the best decision ever made, because you've got to have proper skin in the game. If you want to be taken seriously, you've got to first take yourself seriously. And that's what it's all about. And once you start being full-time in your own business, you realize, shit, it is game-changing. Do you know what I mean? Like, it is game-changing. Yeah. You have to be available.
Yeah, so, you can't just, especially in the sort of things that you're doing, you can't just really dip your toe in and be a weekend warrior. You know what I mean? That's when if you're taking them on these fucking massive mooches that you do, you have to have the planning, the preparation. Otherwise, as we've discussed last time, it will be shit. Like you go down all the way to the little fucking treats that you give them. Like you said, you get a fucking Waitrose or whatever.
Yeah, mate. So like, it's exactly that, and like the business model has changed, because if you're the smartest man in the room, then you need to move to a different room. And I got to a point where I was like, oh, right, I think I've hit the ceiling. And then I went to a completely new environment, and it was just fucking next level. And that's what made me change the entire business model to what I'm doing now, which is four big ultra distance events a year, which are open to hikers and runners. And then a sort of a more private corporate one-to-one basis stuff, which I do, which no one ever really sees because it's not really talked about. It's only done on sort of LinkedIn and referral system. It's not shouted about. It's almost like it's a separate business.
Yeah.
Inside the business, like, you know, I'm very forward faced on Instagram, and I talk about the ultras and I talk about what's going on, but that side of it, I sort of keep quiet, really.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's good to do that sort of thing. Like, you've got your main focus, the big one that you do, and that's the one you're all singing, all dancing, cigar club, staying tasty, all the quotes, all the quotes.
Well, I mean, again, like, mate, like you move on from stuff, and like what was relevant last year might not be relevant this year. Like, the cigar club came from being on the H-Hour podcast with Hugh, and there was something said in the middle of the conversation about combat cigars, and I was like, fucking cigar club. And like, that doesn't happen, and the cigar club doesn't happen if I don't gracefully accept Hugh's offer to go and do the H-Hour podcast, all the way where Hugh is from where I am, which is admission. But you've got to take opportunity when it comes, and if someone gives you an opportunity, you go and grasp it with an open mind and think this could lead to anything. Now, from that, the cigar club has become fucking massive, and I get tagged in photos, people giving it the old puff and the old cigar. And this year on the events, when people finish my ultras with Combat Cigars, I'm going to be buying cigars from Combat Cigars and Hugh and his partners to give out to people. So on my event, so what's that? That's me supporting Combat Cigars, supporting a fellow veteran business, giving the people on my events a unique gift, something they can treasure forever. If they want to smoke it, they can. If they don't want to smoke it, they don't have to. A win for me, a win for them, and a win for the universe, mate. That's what it's all about.
It is. And look at you shouting out a massive, not only shouting out one of the bigger veteran podcasts, but his fucking company as well.
Well,
to be fair, I'm all for it as well. I like Hugh. Hugh's he's an alley bloke. He shouted me out a few times on his podcast.
Yeah,
he's
sound. It's good stuff. And you're on their list, aren't you? You're on their list of like veteran podcasts or podcaster. What's it called?
It's Charlie 1.
Charlie 1. So like it's here's a great word. It's mutual symbiosis. Do you know what I mean? It's everything working together for the benefit of everyone. So no, mate, that's what it's all about. And it's about getting yourself out there and putting yourself into positions to be seen, to be heard, to be noticed in the way that you want to do it. And that's what's important.
Yeah, it's and I just like the support that you give as well. Do you know what I mean? Do you know where I'm going with that? Like, for example, on your Escape the Lakes, you had Team Lakota on there, for example, another veteran company, veterans supporting veterans, and I think we've said this until we're blue in the face. That's what more of that needs to be done.
So that's a brilliant example, and some things that I've seen recently, I've seen other veteran businesses taking swipes at other veteran businesses, and that is like, come on, guys, like put all regimental rivalries or put like what cap badge you wore and put it all to one side, right? Because what we need to do is it's no good saying I am the biggest veteran coffee brand, because that just means you're the king of piss and shit. Do you know what I mean? You've got to be aiming higher than that. You've got to get out of that bracket, and like that's just a title that it's sort of irrelevant. You want to be thinking, how do I get into Morrison's? How do I get into Waitrose? What do I have to do to get, like, how do I get bigger? And that's the step for like anyone, if they're doing apparel, Combat Cigars, Green Beret coffee, whatever it is, Dead Mammoth, whatever it is you're doing. How do you get out of that veteran bubble bracket and branch out?
It's as though that's like a safety blanket. It's like I'm a veteran company. Oh, the veterans will support me. It's like, well, sometimes they won't. Sometimes they'll find another one. For example, they're not even a veteran company, I don't think. Pathfinder Coffee, for example. You could go, well, that's actually a better tasting one. They're not veterans. But yeah, like you said, your goal shouldn't be I'm the biggest veteran coffee company. It should be I'm the biggest coffee company.
And then what you can do is once you get out of that bubble, you can reach back down and you can pull people up with you, and you can go, well, because in business, Tommo, we all hit a ceiling, and then to get out of that ceiling, it's another big leap of faith. Yeah, it's either a cash investment, it's either upgrading your circle, maybe you join a mastermind, whatever it is, it's another investment. If there's already someone at that level, and you can say, mate, how did you get there? Then they can lift you in there, and then as long as you're prepared to come back down, like I'm very lucky. Like there's people in the veteran community who I really look up to, and they are 2 or 3 steps ahead of me, and they've left the veteran bubble, and you know I phone them and say, I've encountered this problem, and they go, right, this is what I did when I encountered that problem, and it's about putting away like ego and what you did, and like sort of like just almost putting that chapter of your book to one side and going, right, yeah, brilliant, we was all in the army, RAF, Navy, whatever. Let's move on and let's help each other. And if we all got on the same page, right, we would all start winning a bit more, because again, we'll use coffee as an example. If I was a veteran-owned coffee company, I wouldn't think, who's Combat Coffee? Is Combat Coffee the biggest, maybe biggest veteran coffee?
Possibly. If I'm honest, I've never tried it.
Right. So let's just say
they're the ones they've got. The biggest. We'll use them because they spend the most on their advertising and things like that.
Yeah. So for them, if they're the biggest veteran coffee company, then for them, they need to sort of think, well, how do we go from being the biggest veteran coffee company? How do we get it into another area? Do we need to have a rebrand, as in, do we need to have something that's not as military named, it's still part of the Combat Coffee brand banner. Tactical Tea did it with like the blue line and the different sort of levels of tea, because, you know, is Asda going to stock the Def Taliban edition?
no, you're right, and that's a big thing as well. Like you just touched on something there as well, because not every civvy is going to think that's cool.
Oh, 100% not.
It's a bit like all the military apparel sort of stuff. They all seem to be the same. Big fucking skull with whatever writing, a big fucking AK-47. It's like, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's cool, but is it? Be different as well. Stick to what you know, sure, but also branch out a little bit.
Yeah, and like that's what I did with my stuff. Like I've made it more universal, more open now to more people, because I no longer lead my events. My events are just free for anyone to turn up now at your own ability and have your day. So like, it's not me on my pace saying, yeah, you got to keep up with me this pace.
Good luck with that.
On the shoulder, gents. Like, so, but again, that's me evolving. It's not about what I want from my day out. It's what letting them have what they from their day out. And I just manage and oversee the events now. That's what I do. And that's down to growth. If I'd have tried to stay on the same model, I already had hit the ceiling, and it was like, how do I get out of this ceiling? And that's where, when I went to a business coach, and he was like, scale, growth. It's not about what you want, it's what the customer wants. And like, prime example of that, BlackBerry went out of business yesterday.
Did hear.
And I watched a brilliant video from Gary Vee saying BlackBerry were like, no, what's unique about us is our phones have a keypad and everyone loves a keypad. in breaking news, 6 years later, no one gives a fuck about the keypad anymore.
Nobody wants a keypad. It's the same with we can even go back a little bit further than that with Blockbuster. They were offered shares in Netflix. And they said, who the fuck is going to be streaming movies? Everyone.
And it's a gamble, or Tommo, like it's a gamble because at the time, Netflix were nobody, and Blockbuster was like, well, we're the king of the castle. If you had like a Joe Rogan deal, Spotify, and you were earning millions of quid, and some new guy came to you and said, right, look, this is where it's going to go, but we're going to have to completely change. We're going to have to completely change the model. You'd be like, no.
Yeah. I can see where they were coming from, but you would also think the scale that Blockbuster was at, they could probably go on. Well, we could probably get a few shares, but they were like, nah. Yeah, but
sometimes where people just don't see the vision. Excuse me, with a sneeze.
It's one of those, though, isn't it? Hindsight is a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Hindsight's a beautiful thing, mate. Like Gary Vee talks about passing on Uber. Gary Vee passed on Uber. Sorry, guys, don't see the vision. All the best. You know, Uber's a massive thing now. Like, and he's a pioneer. He's like someone. People are talking about NFTs. People are still sort of unsure about Bitcoin. Like, I've already gone into the NFT market. I'm already there. I've already invested.
I've heard a lot about these NFTs.
Yeah,
but I'm also thick as shit. So I'm like, so what am I getting?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, certain things are wasted on people that have a mind like a chimp.
But like, yeah, it's and it's about trying to be ahead of the curve a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
If you'd have brought a podcast out in 2008 and you'd have ran with it from then till now, you would have a fucking huge podcast, because you either got to be the first or the best. Do you know what I mean? That's the two distinctions.
And then
we'll go back to them. Combat Coffee are the largest, probably because they were either the first or the best. Now, I can't speak for that because I've never drank their coffee, but they're flying and I see their stuff all the time, so it's got to be one of the two. But it's about
they've got to be doing something.
But it's about innovation. Do you know what I mean? It's about why isn't the French army, are they drinking Combat Coffee? Is the American army drinking like how are you gonna grow the business? How are you going to scale it?
We all know what coffee the American army are drinking.
Yeah, Gash.
The Gash, is it? I've never had black rifle either.
No, I've never had black rifle either. No, I thought it was like some sort of pusses issue stuff.
No, to be fair, from what I've heard, they actually they send a lot out. They do a lot of work for veterans, don't they, as well, which is good. But they also took a lot of shit recently.
What did they take shit for?
It was some sort of political stance on something. I overheard it on Rogan, and I've been to sleep since then. So
yeah, but again, like this goes on to like.
Oh, that was it. They were claiming they were left wing and don't support the troops and things like that. And it's like, what? They literally
Black Rifle Coffee.
Yeah, they literally give jobs to veterans and like Afghani interpreters and things like that. It's like, okay,
man, like you can't appease the mob. Do you know what I mean? And like I keep my political views away from Robustours. Now it's becoming increasingly difficult with COVID, because I find the whole COVID thing deeply infuriating, like to the point where it's like, this isn't just a political view now. This is like an ideological battle between freedoms, control and freedoms. And eventually you're going to have a dog in that fight. Do you know what I mean? Because it's that big of a thing now, where something like Brexit, you'd be like, I've got my opinion, but I'm just going to not say anything.
Yeah.
Like,
but you don't need to have my opinion on it, because it could end in an argument. I don't want to have an argument. I want to have a good time.
Yeah. So like, that's that. But like, I've made a conscious decision this year. I've always been like, I don't even think I'm outspoken. I just say what I want to say, and I say it how I see it. And like, again, I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but that's okay because I drink coffee anyway. But if you don't if you don't like me or you don't like what I'm saying, right, just unfollow the page. Don't bother me. I won't bother you, and we'll crack on. But there's an inherited side of things now where people, it's almost like they want to be daily offended. They want to be,
Yeah.
And it comes from, mate. It comes from not having any set goals in your life because you've got that much free time and nothing else going on that you think, well, if I don't have drama in my life, what am I actually doing? Do you know what I mean? Like if I'm not
Yeah.
causing problems, and yeah, I just find it like, and luckily, mate, the community that I've built, when I speak and I say things, 99% of those people agree with what I say. Like because I've built that much of what's the right word? A culture, tribe, whatever the right word is, where we're all
Cult.
sort of on the same cult. Yeah, we're all on the same. Yeah.
You're ready to drink the Kool-Aid, mate.
Yeah. But it's like that video I did tonight. You know, I was speaking to someone, and they were like super arrogant, and I was like,
I hate that.
Look, my mate. You may have money, but I may choose not to take it. Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah.
Well, of course you want my money. You're an events company. No. I don't like the fucking cut of your jib. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And you're not what I'm about. So you can keep your money and you can go and do someone else's event because you're not on brand for me. You'll never be Cigar Club. Never, as long as I live.
Yeah, you won't be fucking at the end of my fucking event, sipping a whiskey and having a cigar. You can
because you
don't fit. We don't fit. You got to gel. It's like I said to you before, like on right at the beginning of this. In fact, this is how scatterbrained my mind is at the minute. I've had to work hard on fucking some guests that I've had on here. It's like sometimes it just doesn't fit.
No,
I've had a few. Well, actually, just one podcast that has never been aired because it was so shit that I was like, I can't air it.
Really?
And it's frustrating because I've seen this person on a friend of both of ours podcast, and I was like, oh, that was a decent podcast. Why was he a cunt on mine?
Really?
Yeah, I'll tell you it is afterwards. But
yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like, if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit.
No, and that's what we've got to get. That's what you've got to that's what we've got to realize, that not everyone's a fit and not everyone's a match. And like I qualify people for my events with how I use my Instagram, how I do my videos, how I do my reels. And ultimately when I speak to people, like today, there was someone who signed up for an event and he sort of slipped through the net. And I phoned him today, right? And I thought, oh, he's already paid me. So maybe someone would think, oh, he's already paid for the events or whatever. But I phoned him today. I was like, hi, buddy, it's John from Robustours. Look, I always like to speak to people before they do my events because I just want to know what you're all about. And I ask a question. I ask powerful questions. What do you want to get from the event? Insert great answer here. Fantastic, mate. Sounds like we're a great fit. I look forward to meeting you. And then I find out he's ex-army, blah, 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 doing this now, doing that now. Great, mate. Can't wait to shake your hand and share a cigar with you. Top man. See you later. But if he hadn't have been that, I'd have been, someone's getting a refund.
Like, yeah. There's no issue, is there? Sorry, you're not a fit for me. Here's your money back. It's not. It's like,
we're not a fit.
It's not like you're going, you're not a fit for me. I'm going to take your money and you can just fuck off. You know what I mean? But I do the same, mate. With well, as you probably noticed on my Instagram, I finally got my first proper sponsor. Like I've had a few little ones that I would shout out because I enjoyed their product. People like Smudge at Red Coat, love his stuff. Lakota, I'm happy to buy this stuff. I'll wear it. I'll shout them out because I think they're fucking class guys. But the company that I've now affiliated with, obviously, I'm a big advocate for CBD oil. Love it. Works wonders for my fucking joints because my ankles are fucking shot to shit. It's good for my fucking noggin. And I finally found one, a local one, literally around the corner from me. He literally comes in, drops me off my oil, gives me my little sponsorship, little bit of bunts. But yeah, if it wasn't a good fit, it wouldn't have happened. You know what I mean? I spoke to him. He's not a veteran himself, but he loves everything to do with veterans. He loves everything to do with the military. He's always looking to help out, etc., etc. I was like, you sound like a fucking sound bloke. And then when he said to me, you can try my product. If you don't like it, let me know. And then we'll just go our separate ways. If you do like it, then let's work together. I like your podcast. I like what you're about. And I was like, fucking hell, have I just got my first fucking sponsor?
Yeah, man, that's cool. The cigar club. the Kent CBD guy. I've spoken to him on the phone. He's a cracking guy, and he kindly sent me some CBD products and bath bomb and some gummy bears, mate. Yeah, bang on. I think if CBD oil works for you, then go all in on it, mate. You know what I mean? Like go all in on it. Definitely. Yeah. If it's looking after you, go all in on it, and probably won't be too long before the government go, hang on a minute, there's something here with this. I think we'll get amongst it. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, no, it's good, mate. Like you're a good fit, and it's kind of different. Like if you were selling a product, so if I was selling t-shirts or coffee or CBD, you don't have to qualify people then. But I visibly have to deal with people on a one-to-one face-to-face
I get that.
So for me, and as well, like my community, though it's small, everyone gets on and everyone's pals and everyone becomes friends. And all it takes is you to bring the one wrong person or a couple of wrong people into that group, and you can fracture the group. So it's like me as the figurehead is saying, look, dude, before you get into this club, I need to make sure that we're aligned and our values are the same. And I know within about 10 seconds, 15 seconds, but I think...
Yeah, you tend to get a good feel, don't you, off people.
Yeah, absolutely. So no, it's great, mate. It's great that you've got your first sponsor, and he's a local guy, so you can build up a good bit of local rapport. And as long as the CBD stuff's working for you, mate, then you go all in it, don't you?
I can't like speak highly enough about CBD and things like that. You know, if I'd have had it earlier on, like I'd like to blame the fucking military for my ankles, but it's not. It's an hereditary thing. My old man's got the same fucking issue. Like I'll walk down the road. If I did your event, for example, I'd be fucking all over the shop, mate. You'd have to tape me up. You'd have to get all the tape out. Tape those ankles up, Tommo, you glass-footed wanker. I'd be at the back hanging out. You're like, what are you doing? You fucking bitch.
No, man, I have once I start the race, I have very little to do with the actual race. Like apart from overseeing it, I'm kind of not really that heavily involved. Like I'll be at checkpoints and I'll check up on people, but I'm too busy like overall managing, dealing with like food, transport. Is there anyone injured? What's the weather doing? What's the course tide doing? Like where is everyone? Like mate, it's the fastest 24 hours of your life. I swear to God. Like you start at 9 o'clock and then you're like, Jesus Christ, it's 10 to 9 the next day. The first time I ran that event, we did like 100k, and it went over. Like for me, it went over super fast, and it was a massive success, mate. Like it was brilliant, and it made me decide like 100%. Right, this is the model that I will now go down. Like this is the hill that I will now die on. And the next one's in March the 19th. Selfless plug, and we're getting there now with the numbers. We should have about We had 25 on the first one. The max was 25. So we had the maximum attendance on the first one. And then I've upped the attendance to 50. 50 would be like absolutely unbelievable numbers. But again, 25 and up. And I'll be buzzing with 25 and up. Because
awesome.
We seem to think just because you've got a great idea and you think you're doing really well, that automatically everybody else will just go, oh yeah, amazing, I'll just do that. Yeah. And we forget that there's hard yards that need to be put in. Do you know what I mean? Like there's
definitely
there's a lot of great events. But yeah, man, I'm truly over the moon with how it's gone, and I'm over the moon with how it's going. But people forget, like I've seen a lot of companies come and go across the spectrum on the whole veteran community. And it comes down to consistency and how bad you want it. That's what it comes down to. And as well, there is a little bit of luck involved in that as well. You know, you do a reel or you do a post and it goes semi-viral, or you get a lot of traction, or you go on a podcast and you say something and the right person listens to it. But ultimately, mate, you've got to put yourself in the positions to be heard and to go viral. And
of course, especially now you're like you said, you're the figurehead of your business. So you have to put the work in. It's not like you're working for somebody else that's doing it for you and you're just there on the day going, right, should we crack on? No, you're putting in the hard work. It's your baby. So it's like, I'm putting my stamp on this. I'm going to make sure this is fucking shit hot. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely, man. No,
as soon as you put your name on something, it means fucking everything. Like, hence why I didn't put that one podcast out that I did. Usually I don't even edit them. Like, I do it as it comes because that's how I see myself as a real straight talking motherfucker. But that one, I was like, that one, I literally went, that will ruin me if I put that out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But what's going on with Escape the Lakes? Is that still fucking cracking on, or is that?
So no. Escape the Lakes is fully go, and I've just brought in 2 new people to do because of obviously how busy I am and how busy the other guy is who I do Escape the Lakes with, a guy called Chris. His business called Works, he makes ultra lightweight gear. So like he's smash busy making gear. I'm busy doing everything I'm doing, but we both work on Escape together. So we've just brought in 2 people to run the Escape the Lakes IG page. I actually have nothing to do with the Escape the Lakes IG page. And there's been a little bit of a shift recently and a bit of a sort of, wow, we've got these 2 new people in. And now it's off again, and there'll be an event in the summer. And Escape the Lakes was amazing, and it was down to the Lacorda and the other veteran-owned community businesses that got involved. Mad Dog, they donated a great prize. Like everyone who's involved with it, mate, got involved with it. And again, we ran the most original, unique event in the Lake District in 2021, and I don't care what anyone says, we did, because all these other events, what you're doing, we're going to go running around the hills, right? Brilliant. Well, like every other event ever, like Escape the Lakes was a thinking man or woman's manage your own time, manage your own energy, problem solve. Freaking work out the bus timetable. Oh yeah, by the way, don't get caught. And again, that flew by like unbelievable. And this year we're gonna kick it on again and get another.
It's an awesome thing, because obviously you have there is one, is it Hunted and what have you on Channel 4?
Yeah, I mean,
and so many people I know. In fact, one of my good mates has been on here a few times, Chris.
Yeah.
Chris Dunn. He's always going, I could complete that. And I'm like, well, why don't you do Escape the Lakes? One of my buddies does it. Why don't you try that? See if you can do it. Bet you can. Because you're rough reg and you can't read a map.
Because this is the thing, right? Where I know the girl that you've had on your podcast, Mason. Is it Mason? Rebecca Mason, is it?
Yeah, Rebecca Mason.
I know I know she's involved with like, obviously I know her background, but like, I know she's got an events company that does something similar.
Yeah.
But ours takes place in the Lake District. Like, unless you're going to run an event like that in, say, the Cairngorms or Snowdonia, you can't top that with location. Like,
Yeah.
the Lake District is a World Heritage Site. Like, it doesn't get much better than that. And we've only just tipped the iceberg with this, because like anything else, the first event you run is going to have problems because it's your first event. Doesn't matter how many events you've done. Once you do a brand new event with a brand new concept, you're going to have issues. Now, I think we had like proper niff-naff and trivia, like issues, nothing crazy. But there's things that we want to add to this event, which is going to blow people's minds. Like, there really is going to blow people's minds. But again, you know, walk before you can run. And where we're going to go with it and where we're going to take it, absolutely. And like, going back to, a lot of people tell me how great they are, right? Well, okay then. You go out with the same people every weekend, and you do that because you know that you're the best person in that group. So therefore, you are King Kong on your very small island. But come try be King Kong on my event, surrounded by people equally as good, if not better. And I feel like the reason why these big Instagrammers stay away from it, they stay away from it because they might have to do one of the only honest posts that they've ever done in their life. Like, guys, I know I give it big licks and that, and I've got loads of great photos, and I'm always doing like Crib Gok 1,000 times, or I'm always gobbing off about how great I am, but I've actually finished fucking last year.
Exactly.
I've had my eyes opened. I'm not as good as a map reader as I thought, and actually, guys, I feel like a bit of a shitbag. And I offered escape to a lot of influencers, hiking influencers, last year when we did escape for the first time, and they couldn't, honestly, mate, they couldn't have stayed any further away from it if they tried. Like, I think some of them were like buying plane tickets to go somewhere else, like, because I was like, but I thought you were like the top boy, the kiddie. Well, yeah, I am in my own little comfort zone, and I've got my little, oh, I'm just gonna get a drone out and take a bit of drone footage. Oh, you absolute weasel! Mate, if I was an influencer, like, mate, I just gobbed off on a post tonight. I'm gonna go and do an avalanche endurance event in the summer, right? Fan dance. And I'll probably win it. There you go. Shot the title. I'll probably win it. Coming down South Wales, Penny Fan, no problem. Didn't even know they had mountains in South Wales. I train in the Lake District. Have you heard of it? And I'm prepared to go on other people's events, and whatever happens, win, lose, draw, I will do a post saying, fucking hell, that was nails, that, guys. I got my ass kicked, because I'm okay with not being big in everyone's wheelhouse.
You don't always have to be fucking number one in those sort of things. You're going out, you're pushing yourself.
Yeah.
You're in the outdoors, you're getting all the fucking vitamin D.
Yeah, or vitamin D to the max. Yeah.
And you're loving it. You're hanging out your hoop. And you're like, fucking hell, that was good, that.
Yeah, mate. Honestly, September this year, I did a trail race, my first ever trail race, 100k trail race, right?
Made me sick.
I came second. I know, but I came second last, Tommo. I came second last in the event, and I'm still incredibly proud that I fucking cracked it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not bothered that I came second last. Like, you can't always be like, oh yeah, well, I could have said, oh well, I can't do it because insert reason here. I'll go out on my own and shout about how good I am. I'm on my own, and I'm big in my own wheelhouse. And this is where, like, a lot of people don't realize how good would it be for you in your personal image if you went and won a few events, or you did really well in a few events. You would cement what you're telling people. And I am as good as I say I am. But when I see these influencers, and I think, oh, you're out doing the same route again. I mean, there's one guy, he does like crib gock every week, and I'm like, what? You might as well just buy the thing, mate, because you only that much. Like, what you're trying to prove? Like, you do crib gock every week, you know it like the back of your hand. It's nothing new to you, but it's what we feel comfortable in doing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
hence the reason.
We've gone back full circle. He's in his comfort
back
zone.
Full circle. So, and then there's a post about comfort zones, and I'm like, if you do something repetitively, that's not a comfort zone. Like another great example, we organised caving this year, mate. I hate caving, mate. Right, hate it, and I knew I'd hate it. And I went there, and I hated it, and it was shit, and I nearly lost my mind in this fucking thing that we called the Twix. And I was like, this. I can only describe, if you ever wanted to know what it was like when you were born, that's what I did.
Squeezing through.
I did the rebirthing process, and I was like, and I came out of it, and the guy was like, "How'd you find that, mate?" And I went, "Oh, I've absolutely hated it, mate." And he's like, "Oh, have you?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll never be back, mate." And he's like, "All right." I was like, "Caving, tick, done. Thanks very much.
Done it.
All the best. All the best. Not coming back." And again, mate, I'm happy to say, caving. Name me one eagle that lives in a cave. There isn't the cave eagle. Doesn't exist, right?
No, it's just those horrible bats, isn't it?
Bats.
Horrible bats,
they
mate.
Keep it.
They can have that.
And it wasn't for me. But again, if I'm telling people about come and do an ultra, get out your comfort zone, I don't want to be challenged where someone said to me, "Well, what have you done outside your comfort zone?" Well, I just do 50k all the time because I know I'm really good at it and I know I'll be comfortable. Well, that's not your comfort zone. I'll say, "Oh yeah, I went caving, mate. I hated it, rotten. However, I did it. Tick, move on, job done." I think we're planning a bridge swing. A bridge swing is the next thing on the list, mate. We're going to jump off a viaduct on a bridge swing.
Nice. I've seen those. So
it won't be nice, mate.
I like those sort of things. I remember I went on holiday with my missus. It was probably one of our first holidays we ever went together. I think it was somewhere Malia, I think, somewhere in Greece. I could be way off. Anyway, we got there. We were going down to the beachfront, and there's this fucking 60-foot bungee jump crane. And I went, "Oh, I've always wanted to fucking bungee jump." My missus goes to me, "Well, go on then." And I went, "Yeah, all right then. I fucking will." So fucking off I trot. Fucking day one, wasn't it? Straight up there. Remember being up the top. Fucking bungee around me fucking ankles. Fucking rope pulling me down as if it was going to pull me off the fucking crane straight away. I was like, why have I decided to do this fucking day one? Fuck it. Never felt an adrenaline rush like it though afterwards. I remember getting down and I was like, fuck, I'll do it again. But I don't have a fucking 70 euros on me to do it again. So bungee jump, tick.
Yeah.
I love all that sort of shit. Cliff diving, all that sort of stuff. Love all that. If they say to me, "Tommo, fancy going for a run?" No, mate. I like running, mate. I'll go for a walkabout if you want. Put some kit on me.
Well, fair enough, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like it's it is what it is in regards to that. Like you should always look to do something that is going to challenge you, put you in an environment that is going to put a bit of pressure on you, where you think there's some interesting looking guys here. Now, I always back myself and I say things and I do things. But again, I'm really looking forward to going doing the Avalanche events. I know those guys run great events. There'll be loads of great people there. Like I'll probably know a good sort of 10, 20 of them. We'll have a great experience. And whatever happens on the day, I'll be sick. I might piss myself. I might go blind in my left eye. Whatever happens will happen. But it'll be a great experience. And like, I'm excited. It's I've never done it. It looks like it's a fantastic event. So I'm like, yeah, get myself on it. Like that looks a bit of me. Let's go down and see what it's about.
Exactly. At least you'll have some stories to tell as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what it's all about, isn't it?
And that's what's good about like for example, your events that you do wherever you're doing them, whether it's Scotland or fucking Lake District or the Escape the Lakes, etc., etc. You've got stories to tell, and everybody loves going to the pub and having a chat and telling some fucking stories.
Well, that's the thing, mate. I mean, I'm one of those boring blokes. Like, I don't drink. In fact, I drink like 0% alcohols, which is like, it's nothing. But again, like,
each to their own.
You've got no stories, if you've got no stories, then you've got no chapters in your book. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got no chapters in your book. That's why I feel like when a lot of lads leave, some of the lads get stuck in a rut where they're still telling stories. Like 5-6 years later on, they're still talking about their Afghan tour in 2010, and you're like, dude, it's 2022 here, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like 12 years ago.
You're probably a bit like me. Like, I released my actual book, and you know, if I'm in a bar, I won't be going, oh, this time in Afghan, by the way. It's like I won't bring it up. If someone says to me, Tommo, you were in Afghan, what was it like? I'll probably say, oh, it was hot, mate. I'm not going to be I'm not going to be spitting dits or whatever fucking people call it.
Yeah, spitting dits. Yeah,
fucking telling alley stories, because one, I don't really have any alley stories.
Pull up a sandbag.
You know what I mean? Because rough edge and that, unless it's to do with the 5 Mile of Death.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah. It's like I'll tell you what it was like. I'll tell you what the locals are like. Sure, but
I don't even reference back to it now, man. Like, it's that long ago, and I've done that many more things since then. I'm like, man, you might as well ask me when I go on my 10th birthday.
I'd rather talk about the stuff that I did doing my surveillance work, because there were some fucking cool stories with that. And I was like, I did much more doing the surveillance, spying on people with benefit cheats. That was so much more fun and a lot less stressful than having a mooch having a mooch about cash.
Yeah, man, exactly. But like, and as well, I feel like anyone who leaves, what they quickly need to do is they need to quickly like create. For me, I created my own business, not straight away, and I struggled. Like, you need to get into something straight away, and like you need to replace your old habits, your old.
You're spot on. You are spot on.
Otherwise, you become Tam down the boozer, wearing your medals all the time. When I was in my day, wouldn't have happened in my day.
You'll be Uncle Albert, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
During the war,
get away from it.
But I totally agree, mate. Because I was a shit cunt for it. Like up until about 2019, when I started the podcast. To be fair, even when I first started the podcast, I was still referencing back to, when I was in. It was like, it wasn't until I went to therapy and then went to do the Inner Armour course and things like that, when people were going, Tommo, you're still living in the past. That's why you're depressed. You're not living in now.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, that's the way to do it. Like, and guys, just like I've talked about this as well, Tommo. Like, we've become obsessed with labels, mate. And people love a label, and they love a label because it protects them. It protects them from taking ownership. And I'll say it, I was shit when I got out of the army. I had a big chip on my shoulder, and I thought the world owed me 1,000 favors. And once I finally got over myself and realized, you got paid, John, and you got medals, and you got 4 weeks leave, kid. That's as good as it's going to get. And if you want to hang on to that and not move forward, people are going to start avoiding you in the street, because they're going to be like, oh, here he fucking goes. Fucking spin a story, pull a sandbag up. And like, so people get on these labels like, oh, well, I was going to do this, but what happened was, mate, if you're still telling that story, I've got no time for you, because the world is evolving, the world's moving forward. And if you're not moving forward and you're not evolving, what we're doing? Do you know what I mean? What we're doing? I don't know how we can help each other.
When you leave,
it's like
any job, when you leave, you got to be like humans did, and you're gonna go, what the fuck are you talking about now, Tommo? You've had a fucking rum, haven't you? We evolved as a species. We did one thing, we moved on, it worked, we evolved, we moved on, it worked, we evolved, etc., etc. You've got to do the same, otherwise you're literally stuck.
Yeah, 100%.
With no thumbs, climbing a tree.
Exactly. Like you've got to get over yourself. You've got to evolve, and you've got to move forward. Like, and I see like when I see like on Facebook or Instagram, ex-soldier, former this, was that, right? What are you now? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, why are you referring to what you are? Like, it's kind of irrelevant, ex-infanteer, right? But what are you now? I don't know. And it's like, it's a label, mate. It's a label. At that point in your life, you think, oh, I meant something then. I had something going on, so it's important to me. And maybe you've not replaced it, and they hold on tight, mate, and then they get, you know, when the only time I really go into like full on like military mode again is remembrance time. That's the only sort of time that I sort of get back really into it. But barring that, mate, like I think it's in my bio on my website, but again, like I'm currently in a mode of like revamping it, where I almost feel like saying, by saying I'm a veteran business, what am I really saying there? Like, am I trying to get a bit of sympathy when I realistically what I should be doing is I'm awesome at what I do, and it's kind of irrelevant what I did, because it's what you're here because it's what I can do for you now. Well, you should have seen me 10 years ago, mate, when I was awesome. Like, I'm just dog shit now. You know, so I'm kind of like, it's like, how do you move forward? It's like, it's an interesting, but the advice I'd give the guys and the girls leaving, leave, get into something else, CrossFit, running, poker, darts, snooker, whatever it is.
Cheeky bum wanks, whatever.
Yeah. Whatever creates a new community for you, which takes your mind off what you've lost, will keep you focused until you find out what you really want to do.
I don't know about you, but I find that it seems to be certain cap badges as well that tend to hold on. That tend to hold on a bit more.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Exactly.
One tends to be green and the other one tends to be maroon. I'm not labeling anything. I'm not pigeonholing them. But yeah, well, they got to catch me first. I'm really fast over 5 miles. But if your cover photo on Facebook is the para cap badge and you're not a power serving power now, and just come on, let it go now. I had it. Genuine now. I had it from one of my pals that I served with, not on the same squadron or anything. He was actually a friend from back home. I used to have, I was that cunt, mate. I used to have me fucking in front of a fucking Black Hawk, ready to go out, ready to deploy. I had the cover photo of me at a fob with all the lads. I literally had a message in my Facebook Messenger from a lad that I served with. He lives from back home. Good mate of mine, Bootsy. He literally this sentence: Tommo, let it go.
Yeah,
that was it. Yeah. That was it. And I was like, but back then I was like, who's this fucking cunt telling me to let go? I'm fucking Raf Reg. Big three, toe to toe. But it's like now I look back and go, what are you? You were, but.
Like people are proud. Like people are proud of what they've achieved and what they've served in, and rightly so. But you're right in what you're saying. If you've been out X amount of time, then why are you still walking around the town with your regimental blazer on and your berry with your deck of medals, and you're like, what do you do now, mate? I work in the local fucking car factory.
I'm all for it during in November.
It's bang on.
It's like I said to my missus. As sad as it is, I do enjoy the build up to remembrance because then I can go right.
Yeah.
Get me medals out. I'll polish them up. Get me fucking shit beret out. Get me blazer ready. I love all that. I do. And even around Armed Forces Day is sort of all right. But I'm not serving anymore, so it's not like America where they literally have Veterans Day.
Yeah, like I don't even Armed Forces Day. Yes,
but
and like I get as well, mate. Like I get a lot of people from the forces who get in touch with me and say, "Hiya, mate, can I get a military discount?" And it's like, it depends how relevant you are at the time, mate. Like at the moment, it's all about the NHS, isn't it? It's all about frontline services.
I actually picked up on this, by the way. So I can't remember what it would have been. It would have been around October time, I think. It was the Sun fucking NHS Medical Awards, and I went, "Hang on a minute, that used to be the Millies.
Yeah,
it's now changed."
Yeah, because it's about relevancy, and like when Afghan was in its full force, everyone like military discount, and we were relevant again. But I mean, again, like just it's how you want to play it. Like, and I do get people saying to me like, "Oh, military discount," and I'm like, "Well, I know that you live in the block, and I know you're a full screw, so I know you're on about $2.5 grand."
Yeah, you're okay, pal. I'm sure you can afford it.
Yeah, you're okay, pal, and you're asking for military discount. And I know people do apparel and stuff, and they're like, people like, we sell t-shirts for 25 quid, and I get people saying mates rates. Like, if you ever use the word mates rates to me, we're not mates. Do you know what I mean? Like, get yourself to fuck.
It's like when we'll use Lakota. So I bought this t-shirt I'm wearing now, and it took forever and a day for it to arrive. There was a mix up with the shipping or whatever. So I literally sent Stu a message. I went, "Stu, any update on my fucking t-shirt, mate?" And he was like, "Oh shit, mate, sorry. It's on its way. There's been a bit of a mix-up, but as a sorry, I'll send you the hat." And I was like, "You don't have to send me the hat, mate. I'll buy the hat. I like your stuff. I like what you're about. You're a guest on the show. I don't bring you on the show to give me fucking free shit."
Yeah, I've never asked any veteran business for a discount. If it's been offered and it's a genuine offer, then I've took it. I've never bought anything. I've never asked for anything, and I never would. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not my bag. It's not my bag at all. Like, I know the margins. I know what people are going through, and it's like, I'll come on if I can have a discount. Again, you qualify yourself to get a discount if you're a great customer. And Lakota go, "Fucking hell, Tommo's bought 5 t-shirts, 10 caps." He shouts us out all the time. Send him the new fucking limited edition t-shirt on the house. Like, you earn the right to become a discount customer. But don't just come to me and go.
They should though. They've been on the podcast 3 times. So what?
Yeah, where's
what?
No, those are good lads. They're working really hard and they're building a great.
Yeah, they're good. They're a great bunch of lads.
Yeah, genuine, building a great thing.
To be fair, apart from that one guy, I don't think I've had anybody that I've had on the show where I thought, "You're a fucking dickhead." Genuinely, and I actually take like we've sort of mentioned, like stepping outside the box, not having the same military style fucking podcast, the same. Whether it's just about the military veterans, whether it's just about mental health, I try and have an array of different guests on the show. You know what I mean? And at one point, I had too many sort of UFC / cage fighters on, and I was having too many, and I was like, "Hang on a minute, I'm starting to turn into a fucking fighting."
How did that? Yeah, how did your man? What was he called? Mason
Jones.
Yeah, how's he getting on? I try to keep an eye on what he's up to.
He's now 1-1-1 in the UFC. So his first fight
nice.
he lost. when me and my brother both watched it back, we might have had our fucking blinkers on a little bit, our bias, but we thought he'd actually won that fight. But he ended up getting fight of the night for it. Got a nice, cool £50,000 bonus.
Good luck to the kid. Good luck to the guy. I hope he does well.
Fucking second fight, he accidentally poked the bloke in the eye, and the bloke turned into a fucking melt and went, "No, I don't want to fight anymore." And then the third fight, he dominated and won, which was fucking brilliant. But yeah, he's fucking sound, mate, and he's so down to earth for having that little blue tick. He's a very down to earth kind of guy, and that's what I like. Yeah, that's what I like. I don't like people that are up their own ass. You know what I mean?
Well, this is what I mean, mate. You can start getting a bit of traction and a bit of heat, and all of a sudden, I recently found out about this blue tick stuff, and all it is to be blue ticked doesn't necessarily mean that you're famous. It means there's been a lot of articles, or you can Google yourself, and a lot of articles, and it means that we know who you are because all these articles are written about you. So you can have I know someone who's got 3,000 followers who's got a blue tick. It's not necessarily.
Yeah, you have to put all your passport in and all sorts in, don't you? To verify yourself. It's like,
Yeah, I think it's a little bit. I'll be honest with you, mate. I think it's a bit wanky, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
And then if I get one, please remind me that I said it was a bit wanky.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna cut this, and when you get one, I'm gonna go, "Hey, John, you're a little bit wanky. You're a little bit wanky."
And I'll be like, it's all movement, it's all part of the brand. And
then
people,
and you'll be just sat there with your fucking cigar, just go, "Yeah, whatever, mate."
Yeah, cheers, Tommo. Cheers, Tommo, you lizard. But people start. There's people who I know recently who've got a lot of traction and done really well, and I'm like, oh God, I can see you've visibly changed. You don't even speak like that in real life. And one thing that I want to be known for, is that guy is what he says on real life on Instagram. That's what he'll say to your face.
Yeah.
Everything's everyone's doing amazing. Everyone's doing fantastic. Are they though? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Are they though? And call it for what you see it. And you don't always have to agree with someone. But again, if you don't agree with them, don't get upset and have a nosebleed. Just say it's not my cup of tea.
Yeah. I'm the same with this whole fucking. I don't really want to go too much into it because obviously that's a whole nother rabbit hole. We probably don't have enough time for that. The fucking vax or no non-vax bollocks. Right, I'm not going to touch on it too much, but I've got a friend who doesn't believe in it, and she's constantly sending me fucking articles to why not having it. And I'm like, okay, well, here's my rebuttal. Here's the arguments for having it, etc., etc. And then she'll go, but and I'm like, look, you don't want it. That's fine. That's your choice. I'm pro-choice. You don't want it. I'm not having an argument with you about it.
Yeah. No, it's
just leave me alone. I'll wave at you from events that I can go and see because I've had it. I'll be like this. Hiya.
The problem of this is, Tommo, it's not about who created these labels.
Yeah, exactly.
UK media.
It's
the us, UK media.
They love that narrative, the us versus them.
And they did it with Brexit. Now they've done it. They create
Black Lives Matter as well.
They go. Exactly. They create division all the time, and that's where before COVID, February 2020, no one was like, "Are you anti-vax or pro-vax?" And you'd be like, "What are you talking about, you lunatic?" But the media have created a narrative now where they want to create division because why? Division creates stories. Stories sell newspapers. There's both sides of it are slinging mud. I listened to the Joe Rogan with that Robert Malone. That was a fucking unbelievable podcast.
I'm still going. I'm still going on
it. Yeah, mate. It's a long one, but it's a great podcast, and it's just sometimes you've got to listen and think, hang on, he's a lot smarter than me.
Yes. I've said it. I've said it to me missus so many times. There's certain little different things that I've heard on Rogan and other podcasts, and I'll try and explain it to her, and she's looking at me as though, what the fuck are you talking about, you dickhead? And I'm like, listen, I'm listening to these people. She went, Joe Rogan isn't the fountain of knowledge. I went, well, you clearly haven't seen Joe Rogan, by the way. But it's like, he's got fucking all these doctors, fucking MDs, the fucking lot, giving you all this gen, and you're not taking it, and nobody's taking it because they're being silenced by all these other fuckers. It's fucking madness, mate. We literally are living in madness.
Yeah, and we'll see where it comes from. We'll see where it comes from.
Yeah,
see how it all plays out, because it'll all play out soon enough. Definitely.
Yeah. It's mad though, isn't it? This whole fucking thing, how it affects different people different ways. Like, for example, you could quite possibly be similar to me like this. If you get it, you get it. You deal with it as you get it. My missus is literally in bed at the minute because she's feeling shit. She took a test. The test is negative. But she literally kept picking it up, the fucking little fucking testy thing, looking at it as if to go, is it going to change to negative or positive, should I say? Because I feel like shit. It's like, it says fucking negative. Chill the fuck out. Yeah. You're poorly. Yeah. You've got a cold.
Yeah, and then we just feel the need to post our results online. Are you okay, hun? DM me, hun. Will do, hun. This is my official standpoint. I'm over it. I'm done with it. Completely.
Hey! It's as though we're singing off the same song sheet, my man.
It's never going to go away. And I no longer give it any space or time. When it first came out, I was like, fucking hell, like, zombies.
Same. I was ready for the zombies. I was like this.
Yeah.
I was like this. They can fucking come for me if they want. But
now I'm just like, thanks very much. I'm going to move on now. So
I was actually quite chuffed for the first time in ages. Because I literally, if the news comes on, I'll turn it off. I'm like, fuck that. Can't be asked for that. Because they're only going to talk about one thing, and I can't be asked. But the other day, it came up with like breaking news, and it was all about fucking Prince Andrew again. I was like, thank fuck.
Oh yeah.
Thank fuck we got this pedo going on, because I can't be asked with fucking COVID anymore.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no. Exactly that, mate. We could do with something else, couldn't we? Like, we could do with like aliens coming down, or something that just takes like the focus away from. It takes the focus away from this whole topic, really.
But there's so many things that are just slipping under the radar because of this fucking COVID bollocks. For example, fucking Mr. Blair getting his knighthood.
Yeah.
How the fuck has that happened? Cunt.
Well, it's because it's jobs for the boys, and then he's the prime example because he was on TV just before Christmas saying, if you're unvaccinated, you're selfish. And it's like, Tony, I don't think you should be speaking on anything.
hey, Tony, come on, mate. You should be locked up, my man. But you're not.
Yeah, and someone who said, do you know who would be a great advocate to try and convince people to get vaccinated? Who? Bring out Tony Blair. There's no one there saying, well, hang on. I'm not. I don't know if that's the greatest PR move. Why? Well, he's actually not really well liked because he's the kind of whole Iraq thing, really. No, it'll be fine. He'll come on TV. He'll call everyone an idiot. That's not going to do it.
That's what we want. That's what we want. A fucking war criminal telling us to crack on and get this vaccine. But it's a bit like fucking old Boris popping up and going, make sure you get the booster because fucking get the booster. Don't worry about your fitness.
Yeah.
Shut up, you fucking obese dickhead. You've been literally combing your hair with a balloon.
I mean, I saw James Smith did a great response to that, and it was like,
I could watch that guy for days.
Like, surely when someone says, right, I'm going to have to go on national TV and say this, is there not, like, they should have, like, just a normal everyday bloke? Yes. Probably someone like, maybe someone who's, like, admin on Fill Your Boots, right, and say, right, we're going to go on TV and say this. And he'd be like,
I'll stop you there. Well, you could take fucking Prince Andrew for example when he did his fucking interview saying he couldn't sweat and all that bollocks.
Yeah.
Why did nobody go, hey mate, that's not a good idea. Don't do that.
Yeah. What's your what Bozza, what are you going to say? Don't worry about your health, just get the booster. I'll stop you there, mate. Don't say that. Don't say that, mate, because you'll get slaughtered. Really? Yeah, I know I'm just a normal everyday bloke off the street, but trust me.
That's what they need. Don't even put him in a suit. Just leave him as he is, wearing his green t-shirt, his Lakota hat. Let him go in there and just go, hey, don't do that. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that, and I literally call people a cunt for a living. So don't. If you want any credibility, don't do that.
That's what they need, man. They just need an everyday bloke saying, what you going to say before you go on here? Mate, I was in the cinema, right, last over Christmas to see Spider-Man, and I was sat there, popcorn, because it was Christmas, bag of sweets, double bubble. Big Chris Whitty makes an appearance. The whole cinema just went, oh, for fuck's sake. Like, literally everyone just groaned as if, like, the worst man in the world just came on, like Chris Whitty.
Here's one before we fucking finish. So they've got Mr. Chris Whitty, Mr. Personality that pops up, right? Here's a business plan. Have a look on Instagram and see who's got all the likes, right? Yeah, fitness chicks with their ass out, right? Stick them on there and go, come and have a booster. And all the blokes will go, what, a booster? Yeah, okay. And then all the women will go, oh, she's fit as fuck as well. She's toned. She's got a lovely bum. She's a brilliant hun. We'll go get the booster as well. So I can look like that. Yeah. It's like, sold. There you go. Done it. COVID boosters completed it, mate.
So, but big Chris was there. Like, literally, I thought like people were going to start throwing popcorn at the screen. I was like, and I said to the person I was with, I was like, whose idea was it to say, right, let's get Chris Whitty on an advert promoting anything? God. Chris Whitty couldn't promote a fortnight all-inclusive in Kavos. Do you know what I mean? Like, he couldn't promote nothing. And I'm like, who signed this beauty off? We'll get Chris Whitty in the shittest suit. You could put him in a Gucci suit, man, and you'd be like, what a scruffy bastard he is. Like, look, he's an intelligent guy and he's all that, but Jesus Christ, he reminds me of like that duty bloke you had in your regiment. It was like duty boring bloke, and it's like, oh my God, like that's fucking hell. Made model tanks on a weekend and painted them while everybody else was out fighting each other. Like, oh God.
I literally on his Osprey would have the rig on with all the pouches.
Every pouch. You're
like, why have you got all those pouches? Because I need them.
Yeah, I need them.
Why are you going on patrol with your model kit? Just in case. Just in case I need some moss.
Yeah, no, mate. Mega. Well, we've battled it, haven't we? We've gone through it all. Chris Whitty will be suing us.
I fucking love it, mate. I'm gonna get demonetized or whatever. I'm gonna get another fucking I'm gonna get another shadow ban. I before you go, I had a ban, right, because I called someone a fucking mong in a football. It was a football argument, right? And it was the most stupid thing in the world. I literally went, your comeback, you are literally a mong. And he must have reported the comment as hate speech. I was like, oh, fuck you.
Definitely.
Fuck you and your Instagram account, cunt.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Well, that's how it goes, isn't it? Well, fair one, mate. Fair play.
Well, guest of the year, I'm not going to take up any more of your time. It's been a fucking honour and a privilege to have you back on.
Well, I wish you all the best, mate, for 2022, and I look forward to hearing some more guests.
Fucking first of the year. First the best, isn't it? Number one.
Well, we'll see. We'll see, Tommo. We will see. Time will see. Top man, thanks very much.
Thank you, John. I'll catch you in a bit, mate.
Cheers, mate.